Hey guys, it's me, Kezia, the world's leading female dating coach for men. Now today I want to talk about a mistake that guys often make, and it usually happens in nightclubs and bars. When they see a beautiful woman or a woman they are attracted to standing near them, what they will tend to do is they'll hover around the girl. They'll be nervous, thinking of something to say, feeling quite anxious, and what they do is they bide their time. They keep thinking of something to say, they keep trying to catch her eye, and what happens is they generally just start hovering around the girl, and they're under the misconception that the woman doesn't notice what he's doing, but in reality women have almost like a built-in antennae for this kind of behavior. Now this is down to nerves, obviously, but nerves can come across as either very cute and very endearing, in which case the woman will feel sorry for you. She'll feel sympathy towards you. This is not what you want. Sympathy is not attraction. But usually nerves make a guy come across as creepy. Even though the guy might not be creepy and he's just nervous, this is the general feeling that women get when they have a guy who's displaying anxiety and who is just hovering around them thinking of something to say. Now a great way to combat that anxiety that you feel when you're just about to speak to a woman is by socializing with other people before you actually speak to her. Now what a lot of pickup artists do is they send their students to do something called warm-up sets, which means talking to women, or it could be a woman on her own, it could be a group of women, where the guy is not necessarily attracted to any of them. He doesn't think any of them are very attractive at all. And that is just getting you in the mood, just getting you used to talking to people. Now that's a really good way, but sometimes you don't have that coach there or that really good wingman to give you that push and say, come on, let's do it, let's go do some warm-up sets. Another problem with this is you still feel nerves before you even do the warm-up sets. Even though you're not attracted to the girls, I've worked with students before, and they're still feeling nervous because it still is a complete stranger that they're going up and speaking to, even if they're not outcome dependent. So my advice is to start socializing at the very beginning of the evening, not just with women, but with other guys, people out of your social circle. You might be just going out with another buddy, or you might be with a big group of people. But the key is to actually start speaking to people outside of that circle. Stop speaking to just your friend. Talk to other people. Now, where does this start? Well, actually, it starts on the way to the nightclub. Stop talking to your friends, stop talking to your group of friends, talk to the cab driver. I know it sounds ridiculous. Yeah, he's a guy, why do you want to talk to the taxi driver? But that's where it starts. It's small steps. Just talk to somebody out of that social circle. Then you're in the queue. Now you're going to find it, after talking to this complete stranger, you're going to find it a lot easier to speak to the people who are in the queue. It can be women, it can be men, it doesn't matter. Just chit chat, anything. Now by now you're already feeling a little bit more sociable. You don't have that strong urge to go and have a drink straight away to put you in the mood, because you're creating the energy yourself. Now I'm going to talk about alcohol a little bit later on, but let me stick with this for now. Who's the next person that you see? The next person you see is the doorman. Now usually you ignore the doorman, right? You look at the floor, you show him your ID and you walk in. Talk to the guy. Tell him he's got the best job ever. Now it's funny, the reactions of the doormen. They'll either feel really good about themselves and say, yeah, it's really great, because you're implying that he gets all the women. Or he'll actually tell you, you know what mate, it's not that great. It doesn't really matter what he says. It's just about having banter with people that you usually would never even speak to. You've probably been either slightly intimidated by him, or you've just completely ignored him like he's some sort of a statue standing there. It's about having banter and building up that social confidence before speaking to the woman who's waiting in there for you. Now the next person that you see in the club is going to be the girl that you have to pay the entry fee to. Have a bit of a flirt with her. It's fine, she hears it quite a lot. Don't worry about what her reaction is going to be, it's going to be fine. Obviously she's not going to get up and go off with you, but at the same time she's not going to be too rude to you either. It's just getting used to flirting with somebody, again, just carrying on, being sociable and being confident with talking to people outside of your group. Next, you've got the barman. Have some banter with him. Don't just order your drinks, ask him how his night's been. It could be a woman, it could be a man. If it's a woman, have a bit of a flirt with her. Again, she'll be used to it. Don't worry about that. You're not there to get a telephone number. You're not there to secure a date with her, though possibly that can happen later on. You're just there, again, to get used to talking to other people. So you're at the bar now, drinks. Okay, I drink alcohol myself. There's nothing wrong with drinking alcohol when you go out. We all have alcohol for a bit of Dutch courage. The only problem is monitoring how much we should have. So I'll sometimes go out with students and I'll only let them have one drink if they are drinkers. And it's very hard, I've noticed, for them to resist having the second drink. You want to be able to create the Dutch courage, because essentially what we're talking about here, to talk to any girl that you want without the use of alcohol, because it is quite hard to monitor. And when you start getting drunk, then, as you know, the results are not as good, and you just start talking to any girl, and then you wake up in the morning and you have a bit of a fright. Now, when you do see that girl, after you've spoken to all these people and you've spoken to people in the club and you're this really sociable guy, it's going to be so easy. You're not going to feel anxious. You're literally going to transfer that energy to that particular moment. And she's just going to feel like another person that you've spoken to in the long line of people that you've been speaking to all evening. Now, in a way, I've actually applied this technique myself. I've never had a problem talking to people in a nightclub. I've never had a problem meeting new people. My problem was in public speaking. I used to have a real fear of public speaking. People would never ever guess that now. In fact, people actually compliment me. They come up to me and they say that I did a really good talk and I seem to really enjoy it. And I do enjoy it, but I never used to. And my fear of public speaking used to be crippling. Now, what was I doing wrong? Well, before I would go up and do my talk, I would be in my own thoughts too much. I would be in my head way too much. I would be in a room, not really acknowledging what's going on around me, not talking to anyone, not interacting with anyone, not engaging with anybody. And I would just be sitting there in my thoughts, going over my talk, and then I would suddenly come up on the stage and be expected to have this like massive energy and just be able to display and convey super confidence. It wasn't possible. I just couldn't get into that state all of a sudden from coming from such an intense, low, serious, anxious state. So what I started doing before I did public speaking, before I went up and did my talk, is I started talking to all my friends, laughing with them, having some banter, talking to the audience. That really, really helped. And now I get up on that stage and I carry that energy with me and I project that energy that I obtained before actually going up on the stage. So it's the exact same principle, it's just in different circumstances. So that's my advice for this video. Try and leave the alcohol out of it. Nothing wrong with having a drink here and there, but you want to be able to have the power, the ability to create that Dutch courage yourself. And the method that I've given you is something that we give to our boot camp students. So my trainers will take them to the nightclub, and it won't be like, okay, we're going to go from the headquarters and then we're going to go straight to the club and we're not even going to speak to each other on the way there, which you actually see a lot of guys doing. You see a lot of guys going into the club and they've got, you know, really sort of miserable faces and they're just going straight to the bar and just drinking and drinking. We don't do that. What happens is there's banter all the way through the street, talking to people, having a laugh, doing crazy stuff, and then they go into the nightclub and the energy is just literally bouncing off the walls and they find it so much easier to just talk to women. So I hope this video has been useful for you. Please take the time to subscribe to my videos. I'm going to be doing a video every 2 weeks and they're going to be packed with free information. Don't forget to check out my website, www.kezia-noble.com, and you can find out more about my boot camps, which happen in London and in the US, and also my 7-day mastery course. I hope to see you soon. Take care.